Hey, Mean Matt here. So, I'm beginning to talk about the professional wrestling world of 2016. We're going to start off with Ring of Honor. Now, I was in the hospital for the month of January and then February, most of February. So, I kind of know what happened, but I'm gonna try to talk about it anyways. Um, oh, let's just talk about the highlights here. A lot of the wrestlers went to different organizations in all three major companies, anyways. Like Ring of Honor, you saw last year with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe, if I'm not mistaken, left Ring of Honor for NXT earlier this year, and then yeah, then of course you had recently Roderick Strong going to NXT. So a lot of the wrestlers have gone to NXT, but at the same time, Christopher Daniels came back. This time bringing Frankie Kazarian with him, which I thought was cool. Got to see some good matches. The Young Bucks came back. There was the reformation of, well, the Americanized version of the Bullet Club. You had Michael Elgin was there. We'll talk about him in a second. Um, yeah, you had shit. I'm drawing a blank. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. In New Japan, you had when Ring of Honor was in Japan. You had that whole thing with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and then the Young Bucks were there. They fucking had Kenny Omega. That was cool. Then the Young Bucks came back to America, went to Ring of Honor. Kenny Omega, I guess, didn't come back with them. You had, of course, Ring of Honor go to Japan this year. You had, it's probably one of the coolest things I've seen. That because a lot of the arenas are designed the same nowadays, especially with WWE. You had the Field of Honor. I can't remember what state it was. You got a lot of the New Japan guys going at it with the Ring of Honor wrestlers too. You had, and that was with Michael Elgin. War Machine was there. Not really sure what happened to them at this moment. A lot of things that I'm trying to think about that happened this year that I'm trying not to miss. Yeah. So let's see. No, it's been a great year so far, and for that kind of thing, and of course, also you talk about the club, and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows from New Japan going to WWE. We'll talk about that tomorrow, maybe, unless I'm. Yeah, we'll see. So, not too much really to go on. Women of Honor, of course. that was cool. Again, I'm trying to familiarize myself with a lot of the wrestlers. You saw the biggest feud of this year was BJ Whitner returning and taking on the commentator Steve Corino, who was a wrestler at the time. Pretty sure he still wrestles from time to time. You saw him take on Kevin Steen, or Kevin Owens now, in his last match. In Kevin Owens' last match. You saw him do that, so it was cool to see, this match happen, and also finding out that the return of Kevin Sullivan. No, he was in WCW, Kevin Sullivan was. I never watched WCW that much, so I rarely got to see that, and I think this one was better. This was more like they were kind of like a cult. That's kind of what it felt like, You have the Briscoe brothers, Jay Briscoe being the champion, having a feud with Adam Cole. Or was that last year? See, I'm trying to think now. We'll probably should get the formation now of the new Bullet Club with Adam Page, Young Bucks, and then the reveal of Adam Cole. And so that's a really cool stable. It's very punk rock. I look at it that way. They just cause a lot of chaos. The whole thing where at the reveal of Adam Cole just was very awesome. And that super kick party and everything else. Yeah, I wish I was more prepared for Ring of Honor. I don't do a lot of Ring of Honor and TNA reviews. I just said yesterday that I was going to do the 2016 year for Ring of Honor. This Ring of Honor, TNA, and WWE. Yeah, basically it. That's just how it is. I don't know where Truth Martini is anymore. I know that the Kingdom broke up, got back together. Of course, Mike Bennett, who went on to TNA with American Ellis, Matt Taven's in his own thing with the Kingdom. I don't hear too much more of War Machine. They were one of my favorite tag teams. Not since Field of Honor, anyways. Michael Elgin is in Japan most of the time, so I don't really know too much of where he is right now. I saw a lot of him earlier this year. I say a lot, don't I? Yeah, basically, that's basically it. A lot of interesting matches. Jay Lethal became face again after Truth Martini left. Shaved his head. With the trademark dreads or whatever that he had. So yeah, and that's basically it. Ring of Honor 2016 was pretty cool. I've been watching it now for 4.5 years now, and it's still pretty cool. Roderick Strong is in NXT now. I'll talk a bit more about that later. There's been a lot of changes. Colt Cabana came back and turned on Dalton Castle. Now as a heel, which is going to be interesting to see more of. Matt Hardy was in Ring of Honor last year, or last 2 years, I think. Maybe. I can't remember. He was there. He, of course, obviously went back last year went last year to TNA. Did a lot of reviews about that. Or a few reviews about that. And what else? Briscoe brothers haven't been tag team champions in a long time. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out. There's not a lot of highlights that I've looked up. Nigel McGuinness, so this is new. And I know that I'm not gonna talk about WWE, but there's a new promotion in England, and they've recruited Nigel McGuinness as the commentator, so that's exciting news. Anyways, it's not much of a video, a lot of highlights. I've tried. But there it is. Anyways, talk to you tomorrow when I go on about TNA. Bye.